People ask a lot about active recovery, and I'm like, I don't know if active and rest go in the same sentence. Yes, there's something to be said for getting up and going for a walk and seeing the sun and getting your body moving and having like blood circulation to help enhance like muscle recovery. But there's not many things, in my opinion, that fall in that category as really moving the needle forward. But we have to look at the sport of soccer and the demands of soccer, right? Especially in match play or intense training sessions, athletes are getting exposed to a ton of acceleration and deceleration efforts. And really focusing in on those deceleration efforts, it's one of the most taxing stimulus that the lower portion of the body will have to withstand. And if we're not giving ourselves proper time and recovery from those actions, that's when we're seeing a higher surplus of these non-contact ACL injuries. We're just going and going and going with zero rest at all. And people think, oh, a rest day can be me just go juggling the ball, kicking the ball against the wall a little bit, but you're just not letting your central nervous system or your musculoskeletal system to come all the way back down and regroup and rebuild. And I think my biggest straightforward answer, right, is when an athlete is in the gym, when they're on the field, training of any sort, all we're doing is breaking down muscle. This is my big thing I talk about like in the gym, right? When you come in the gym, all we're doing is stressing your muscle, breaking it down, and then you have to step away, and the growth process happens during rest. It doesn't happen when you're in the gym. Yes, it's a key component, but we're breaking you down. Now you need to go rest so that your muscle can grow. And many things are a part of that, right? How we sleep, how we manage stress, and really importantly, how we're fueling to help rebuild that muscle.
Mhm. You make such a good point there that some people think just doing a light skills session, like juggling or dribbling around cones with their skills trainer, is a recovery day. But I don't think people take the central nervous system into account too, and how that needs recovery as well in order for the muscles to do their job during those deceleration movements. And that's like one of the biggest mistakes I see is people scheduling more skills training during the season. I mean, like you said, there's a place for it, but in season, I don't know because a lot of these girls practice 4 days a week. So it's like, you're going to schedule that on a Friday before weekend games, like on a Sunday when that should be your off day.
And I'm not a psychologist, right? And I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers to anything at all. I'm all about sharing my thoughts and provoking other people to think deeply about things. And so I just think about the emotional aspect of on your off day, putting your cleats on and going out to the field. That there's an emotion, there has to be an emotional portion of the whole entire ecosystem that, okay, my body, I'm telling my body it's not actually a day off. I'm still putting on my cleats. I'm still finding my identity and myself on this field with this ball. I would just really encourage people, okay, can you at least start with one off day? Can we have one complete off day where we're just, for young athletes, youth athletes, we're not thinking about soccer? Can we just think about like who you are outside of that young girl, young boy, no matter what sport you play, outside of who you are as that athlete and just be a kid?
Mhm. I think that one off day is such a good suggestion. And I've had a lot of other like physical therapists, doctors, and physios say that on the podcast. Please pencil in at least one off day. And if there's like a week or two where you can do that second off day, do it. And I think we're just in this culture of more is better. And then when girls play games, I'm finding this too. Maybe they look slow to the ball. And then the parent from the outside thinks, oh, she's out of shape. We need to do even more. And then she gets in this downward spiral of overuse and then something more catastrophic like an ACL tear. So parents really need to use discernment. Is she out of shape? Does she need more? Or does she just simply need more rest?
There's things that are out of the parents' control, right? And so, for example, I like this past weekend, our coaching staff went to Phoenix for an ECNL event. And coaches really aren't staying for those Sunday matches anymore because it's the third match of the weekend. Like, you don't actually find out how great of a soccer player someone is the third match within 48 hours. you find out maybe who's a little more durable, but I wouldn't even make that argument. And you just hear things of, oh, so and so had to pull themselves out of the match for this and that. And it's like, okay, we're just breaking these kids down, exposing them to a surplus of match play where parents and kids probably think, oh, these college coaches are going to be there and watch me all weekend, where we're starting to learn, okay, by those third games of the weekend, no one's really hanging around to find out who the superstar is because they got nothing left to give.
That's so true. And it's also not transferable to the college soccer schedule anyway. Like you guys usually have a 48 recovery window if you play on a Friday night and then a Sunday night. So it's not realistic for college soccer. So yeah, I've heard a lot of college coaches just peace out by that third game because they know they're like, this is pointless for me to watch. Everyone's falling apart and it doesn't tell me how good someone is.